go ahead and sit down. We're going to start seated. Then we'll go to standing. We're going to offer a classic course. So everything we're going to do here today is really based on some part of the core, whether it be the obliques. Let's start out with this. So the core is made up of one muscle that goes from the rib cage down to the hips. It's called the rectus abdominis, and that is the muscle that contracts to bring the shoulders up, or it contracts to bring the butt up. You always hear upper and lower abs. There is no such thing, but you do work the upper and lower parts of that one muscle that's attached. And then there's the obliques, which are on the sides. They go at a diagonal. Those are the ones that are in charge of rotation. I talk about those all the time because they are so important if we don't get them. And then there's muscles that go straight across, and those we need to keep that stability, to keep our hips from whipping side to side when we walk, whenever we're standing, whenever we're laying on the floor, to keep our back straight if we make any movements. That controls the core from the side to side to keep you from twisting and bending and all of that. So the first thing we're going to start out with is a lower ab exercise, and that is take the foot, extend it out one at a time. So one of the things I have learned or have read is that we shouldn't be doing both legs raised at the same time. I agree if you're on the edge of the chair. So if we do any exercises where we're bringing both legs up at the same time, I want you back in the back of the chair, holding on. If it's not right for you, if you feel any lower back pain at all, stop, go to a single leg and do all the exercises we're doing, but from a single leg. First one, you're not going to have any double leg exercises here. First one we're going to do is just a leg raise. The shoulder blades back, grab onto the back of the chair. This takes us into our neutral position. Shoulders under the ears, grab the shoulder blade or grab the back of the chair. What you want to do is have that little curve in the lower part of your back. That curve provides stability to the spine. What we're going to do is just lift the leg up. That easy. Who knew it was going to be this easy? Where you should be feeling that is in the very front of the hip. Can't see very well with, at least I can't see that I'm showing it very well, but in the very front part of the hip, and you'll also feel it in the quadriceps, above the knee, below the hip. Up. Keep your shoulder blades back. If you don't need the chair, perfect. That's a tighter core. But if you find yourself at all rolling forward as you pick the leg up and you can't get the shoulder blades back and it causes any pain at all, hold on to the back of the chair so that you can really get yourself into that neutral position. So it's up. You should start to fatigue. The first time you lifted it up, hey, no problem. This is easy. After you do it a couple times, these muscles are going to start to fatigue. These hip flexors are a part of lifting the leg when we walk. Up and back down. Maintain your neutral position. It is so easy to not work the muscles we should be working and hurt the lower back. Let's go to the other side. Same thing, just an easy leg lift. Little bend in the knee. Don't lock the knee out at any point in time. So you've always got a little bend in that knee no matter what exercise we're doing. Lift and back down. Rest if you need to. Put the heel on the floor lightly. The other thing you want to do with this is control the movement. Don't just pick it up and let gravity pull it back down, bouncing on the floor. It's up, no plopping at all. And back down. Up, nice and slow, back down. The slower you go, the more you're going to feel it in the front of the hip. The core goes from the pelvic floor all the way up to the diaphragm. So there's way more than just the stomach involved in the core. We're working that lower half or that lower section down by the pelvic floor. Up and back down. Shoulder blades are back. Chest is out. Down, up, down, and up. Bring it in. So you should be feeling that right in here, a little cramping up kind of thing almost. All right. So the next one we're going to do is just take a break from those muscles and go into the ankles. It's not core, I know, but it's important. All right. Just work with me here. Come out to the edge of the chair. So how we make it core is we come out to the edge of the chair. We keep the shoulder blades back as we extend that foot, holding ourselves in the neutral position with the shoulder blades back, ears, shoulders in alignment, is working all the muscles through the torso, holding our our posture, our position, our form. Form is the word we were looking for. Form. There's no game show. Around and around. Let's go the opposite direction. Circles. That's it. Ankles, circles, range of motion. And around and around. Other side, same thing. We're going to go back to the legs after this, but don't worry, we're not done with the ankles. We are not done. We got so much more to do. My ankle hurts, so we're going to do ankles. Up and back around. I'm not getting the flexibility out of it I need. And around. Back the other way, same thing. And again, it's so important to have strong ankles so you can keep your balance. You can keep those feet flat on the floor, flat on the ground when you're walking, but especially if you're on uneven surfaces. If you're walking on grass, walking on gravel, rocks, you've got to be able to control that foot through the ankle to keep it flat so you always have control. Otherwise, you're going to crimp that ankle. All right, next one we're going to do lower body, legs together to one side and to the other. So we're doing this cross, working the obliques. They're doing the work pulling outside of the hip, up through the outside of the torso, out and out. Few of these, you should start feeling it in the outside of the hips, coming up, getting into the glutes, and finally up into those oblique muscles on the side of the torso. Over and back, over. I need to get a wall hanging behind me of all the muscles of the core so I can point to them each time. Over. Not that there's that many, but it's still good to know. It's important that you know which muscles you're trying to affect so that you can feel that they're working. Again, you're in that neutral position. You're working the entire core by not letting the hips turn with the feet and with the knees. Over, back, a couple more times. And we are good. Inner thigh, groin muscles coming around the outside to the outside of the hips, glutes, and the outside of the core. All right, next one we're going to do just a nice, easy, letting the leg drop out to the side. So a little bit of a bend in the knee. Just let it drop out. Legs are back, chest is out. I would really lost my form there. I was starting to bend, shoulders down. I need to get my shoulder blades back, chest out, looking right straight out in front of me. And just let that knee drop out. Feel the stretch on the inner thigh as you do. And bring it back in. Out. Watch that other leg. Make sure it stays straight. You're working the muscles all the way up the sides of the leg, around the knee, through the hip, holding it in place. Up. As you drop out, make sure the knee and the toe follow each other. Not just the foot rolling out or the knee and the foot stays in. Everything moves. You want to keep alignment through that leg all the way up in the hip so the movement is happening within the hip itself. So you're getting flexibility, warming up those muscles. Out, strengthening them. It's the whole gamut right there through that hip. Other side, same thing. Bring it up. A little bend in the knee, drop it out. And back up. Again, control it out and back up. Don't let the hips turn. You want to really work on making sure the hips stay forward. Felt that in my lower back. You want to make sure that you don't let the hips turn. That's twisting something that does not have a pivot, a hinge for it. There is no movement in the lower back. It is just muscles pulling out and back in. That's all one piece. There is no rotation through the hip, through the lower back. That's why when you try to do it, you hurt it. Out and back. It's just muscles pulling. Over, come back in. They say when we get older that the thing we have to remember is we have less margin for error. We have to be really careful in the movements that we do because we're not young. We don't have the flexibility. We don't have the length of the stretch of the muscles. Out and back in. We don't have strength around the joints. That's why we need to keep it that we do get it. All right, you're ready. Shoulder blades are back. We're going to take the shin, bring it up to the torso, and squeeze. Again, hip flexors on this. Roll the shoulder blades back, chest is out. Those muscles working in the lower half of the stomach, those lower abs. That down to the side. Lower half. I don't still call them upper and lower, but it's the upper and lower line on side. Shoulder blades are back, chest is out. And back down. Other side up, then you back again. See if you can get just a little bit higher. Really concentrate on this one. Pulling the shoulder blades back, getting that chest out, and then bringing that knee up as tight as you can. Feeling the muscles working in the front of the leg, feeling the muscles stretching in the back. Also, make sure you have that alignment, knee, toe, hip, and back down. A lot of times with this one, we like to do this. The muscles take us there. We need to make sure that that is in alignment from the knee, heel, toe, hip, like I said. But keep it aligned, and if you have to do it by hand, do it by hand. Stretch those muscles out that need to be stretched. Make it work. Move. Always look at that stationary leg. Make sure that it's flat on the floor and that you have that alignment too. The more you keep that stationary leg aligned, it's working. And this is having to do work to hold it in place and bring it back down. Grabbing onto the back of the chair again, starting out with small movements. It's just up and back down, up into a march. Shoulder blades are back, chest is out. Nice and soft. When you come down, you're coming down on the ball of the foot first, then the heel drops. Nice and slow, like the ball drop on New Year's. Back and down. Up. I was so excited when I thought of that. Up and back down. That was one of the jokes I sent you. Is my favorite joke ever for New Year's, and it was, what did the woman say when the guy tried to give her a raisin for New Year's Eve? She said, "No, thanks. I've already got a date." Loved it. I told it to my wife. She didn't even laugh. She didn't even go, "That's just stupid." Nothing. She just looked at me, blink, blink. All right. What are we doing next? Heel slides. All right, here again, lower half of the core. Bringing that heel in and taking it back out again. This is a great one with the ball. If you put your foot up on top of the ball, bring it in and back out again, or lifting the heel up off the floor. That's a lot of work for those hip flexors. But if you can do it, perfect. But make sure you can maintain your posture. If you need to, grab onto the bottom of the chair, the seat of the chair, or the back of the chair. Out. In, heel glide, or heel slide. Out. Shoulder blades back. Don't let yourself go forward. It wants to. Gravity wants to do its job. You got to fight it. And we're good. Other side, same thing. You're also going to feel muscles working in the glutes, coming up to the top of the glutes. Those are good. Those strengthen the lower back as well. So here we go. Glide out, glide in, let that heel slide on the floor or bring it up off the floor, keeping the shoulder blades back, out, back in, out. And in, we got a couple more times. Out. Start feeling it from above the knee all the way up into the hip. Hip. Probably. Out. In. Make sure that other leg is stationary. Shoulder blades are back. Always keeping your posture. Always keeping your alignment. Out and in. Out and in. So we're going to put those two together that we just did. The first one we did was that tuck. Second one we did is the heel glide. So grab onto the back of the chair. Make sure that your stationary leg, your braced leg is down, solid. Shoulder blades are back. You can exaggerate this one to make sure you keep that little curve in the lower part of the back. We're going to bring your leg in as close as you can get it, feeling that hip flexor tighten up and then extend out, straight out. Don't lock the knee out completely, but almost right before that. Bring it in and push it out. Leg extensions. In and back out. Lose it, hold it, back out. Lower abs, hip flexors again. Everything on this is lower abs. Back out. Back in. Out. Get that leg back as far as you can. You may be able to get it in deeper now than you were before, but as you do that, don't let the shoulders roll forward. You get more distance coming in. Get more crunch. And out one more time. In and back out. Other side. Same thing. Find your neutral first. Come out to the edge of the chair, get that butt right on the edge. So it's right between the thigh and the butt itself, right in that little crease in there. That's what you want on the edge of the chair. Grab onto the back of the chair with the shoulder blades back, lifting that leg up. Bring it in and out. And so this is like the leg press machine at the gym. Up and out. Problem with the leg press machine is people put too much weight on it. They lock the knees out when they go, and then they end up hurting their knees because the locked knee is doing all the work and the muscles aren't. And the joint's not made to handle that. Out. You jerk it. You push hard and fast, not taking their time. It's that slow movement that works the muscles. Out and in. Out and back in. Two more. And the last one. And bring it back. Felt that. All right. I'm going to go to the upper half of the core now. Starting out with some crunches. So hands right here. Hands right here in the chest. Across the chest. Starting out nice and easy. Just practice rolling the shoulder blades back in that neutral position. Kind of easy to do when you push the hands on the shoulders. Kind of push them back. And hip hinge only. As you come back up, get a solid base underneath the ball of the foot to the heel and the floor. On the feet and on the floor, in the feet on the floor. And back. Go back as far as you can, maintaining that neutral position, that curve in the spine, and then come forward. If you feel any tweaking in the lower back, don't go that far back. Stop right before that, hold, and come back up again to keep this a nice, easy drop as the shoulders come down. As you come down, you should be able to drop those shoulders down even more. And now, here's the hard part. We want to roll the chin down to the chest and bring the shoulders forward and try to get the momentum there. That's using the lower back to bring you back. You want to use the core muscles. So it's tighten up the core. Feet are flat on the floor. Roll the shoulder blades back and come forward. And back out. And this is how you should be getting up. Anytime you're in a diagonal position like this, and back up, getting out of bed instead of rolling up out of bed, chin to chest. We have a tendency to get up and rotate at the same time. So we're stretching out that spine one way, and then we're rotating it at the same time. Spines do one thing at a time. They either rotate or they bend. Just try to make it do both. It's going to be an ugly, ugly situation. Back and bring it back up. All right. Flutter kicks. Shoulder blades are back. Grab onto the back of your chair. And feet up and up. Kind of a march with the heels touching the floor. So what we did before in those lifts, we're doing is speeding it up a little bit here, making the motion different, working the muscles differently. So when we first start working the cardio at the same time, he says, as he's taking up, shoulder blade back, keep the back off the back of the chair. You want to use the core muscles to hold you. You want to use the muscles in the glutes and in the hamstrings to do their job. Up, flutter kicks, and we're good. Next. Okay, so this one you want to be careful. Russian twist works the blades. First exercise we did work the upper abs. Second exercise we did work that lower half. This time we're going to work the side muscles, those obliques. Hands in front. I like doing palm to fist because what I do is on this one we're going to twist, making sure. So the most important thing in a Russian twist is that you keep the shoulder blades back. If you take any classes where you're on the floor and you're doing Russian twist, always make sure you've got that curve in the lower part of the back. What we have to do is, as we start to feel like we're off balance, all the weight's backwards, we roll the shoulders forward a little bit so that we can lean farther back. We don't want to do that. We don't. Trust me. We don't want to do that. Shoulder blades back. You stop when you feel like you can't maintain your feet on the floor anymore. You don't want any pain in the lower back whatsoever. You're going to feel work, but you don't want to feel pain. We're going to do hand to fist, coming down on the side, rotating the shoulders, rotating above the hips, down, feeling the obliques, take that torso and bring it around. And the center, other side, same thing, down. I take the hands to create resistance, pushing down with the upper hand, pushing up with that lower hand, creates a resistance that is engaging the core even harder. And up, shoulder blades stay back, don't lose that, don't let the chin come down to the chest. You're looking up at a diagonal towards the ceiling. Up. Bring it down and rotate. And back up. Everything from the hips down stays pointed right straight out. That's how you know that you're doing the right thing. If those knees are coming to the side, you feel the sits bones moving, you're in a bad position. If you feel the chin on the chest, chest on the chin, either one, both, you're dropping your shoulders forward. Get them back again. Get that neutral position. The farther you can get the shoulder blades back, the less pressure we're putting on the spine. Being in the neutral position, stabilize back. Down, rotate, squeeze, feel these muscles work before you come out of it. Up, down on the other side. Bring it up. Relax. Next. We did those marches before, bringing the knees up. We're going to take hands on chest again. And what we want to make sure of with hands on the chest is that the shoulder girdle stays straight across. Straight across. What we're not trying to do here, we're going to come across body, lifting the leg. At the same time we're going to rotate the torso. Torso only, just like we did in that hip hinge or in that Russian twist. Up and around. You don't feel the sits bones move. Knees, toes, stay right straight forward. Up, rotate the shoulders, and bring it back down. When you rotate the shoulders, the torso is going to rotate a little bit too. Perfect. That's working the obliques. Picking the feet up, picking the legs up in that march is working the lower abs and the hip flexors. And back down. Up. Around. So this is a modified bicycle from a seated position. Again, you always want to make sure you've got that neutral position in the spine. You don't want to bend it because you're rotating it. The only place that rotates is in the center of the spine. It's busy right now. It's turning. It does not bend at the same time. And down, round, and back. A couple more times. Listen tight. But once you get comfortable with that, you can start doing hands on the back of the head with a little more rotation. You're going to feel it more on the outside of the hips. Then you can go into things like where you bring the knee up and you reach across and bring it back to center and bring it through. But that's where you can go with that. There's all sorts of room for modifications on that to increase it, to advance it. All right. We're going to go to sanding. We're halfway through. Grab a drink of water. We're going to grab onto the back of our chairs. I'm going to switch chairs to a taller chair. Not that I'm tall by any means, but it puts me in a much better position. So this is a bar stool height chair. Can't use it for seated exercises because my feet don't touch the floor. And I'm not a tall person, but the back is a little higher. Some arms are up here. I'm not reaching down with the threat of rolling the shoulders down and bending the spine at the same time. All right. So the first one we're going to do, onto the side of the chair. Hand on the outside. Just start with this. Leg up, out, in, and down. Here's what the concentration is. Forward, up, and out. If that knee gives it all on that stance leg, on that stationary leg, your hips are going to turn with it. That's not doing anything. We want to lift. Stretch out the inner thigh, groin muscles, and then we also work the outer thigh at the same time and bring it in. What we do with that, bring the hand behind the head. Again, really concentrate. Elbow back as far as you can get it. Shoulders like back, chest is out. As you bring that leg out to the side, just side bending so you can feel it between the ribs and the hips. and bring it back down. Up, out, coming down, and bring it back in. Again, getting those obliques, that's all the side of the torso and the outside of the hip, lifting and pulling back. But for the core, we're working the outside of the torso. Up, out, external rotation, get the obliques, in and down. Get the shoulder blade back, get the chest up. After you do a couple of these, it's really easy to start coming forward. Find your position and back, up, and back. All right. We're going to take and bring up the leg closer to the chair. Lift. Back down. Stance leg has a little bend in the knee. Shoulder blades are back. You're back in your neutral position. You're always in your neutral position for all of these. Up and back down. As you pick that foot up, make sure that you're not letting the weight take you forward. You should not feel the weight in your toes. It actually pulls the toes up. You don't need your toes, not for this exercise. You can leave them home for this one. Up and back down. If you take toes off the floor, it lessens the chance that you're going to move into it as we lean into it. Up, back out. We're going to work the obliques again, this time from the other side. Arm up overhead as twice open. As you bring the foot up, across the arm and back. Again, shoulders are rotating. These obliques are tightening you up, rotating the upper half of the spine through that thoracic spine, right in the middle where the rotation happens, the hinge of the back, round, and that tip point, down and back. As you come down to that foot, crossing the shoulders, rotating both shoulders, not just reaching across with one shoulder. That does nothing but just reach across except stretch the muscles in the shoulder blade. What you want is both shoulders roll back, even muscles working outside of the torso. Now, out, up, overhead, to the side, wherever you want to do. And up. Make sure you got to bend your knees. Make sure you're standing back. Toes are not on the floor. Down, and up, down, and up. Staying on this side. March, bringing that knee up and back down again. Keep the core tight. Up. My core has gotten a little loose over the holidays. Up and back down. Up. And there's still stuff around the house from food stuff. Up and back down. All right. Arm off like this. You know, punch up. Go. Knee up. Elbow across. It's not this. It's not twisting and turning, bending, and spindling, mutilating. Don't do that. It's down, up, roll the shoulders, coming cross bodies, and up. Knee comes up, right straight forward, shoulder rolls around, and bring it back. Outside of the hip, contracted side on the obliques. Down, and up. Squeeze it. Bring it back in one more time. Up, hold, and back down. Other side. Other side. Same thing, but different side. Same thing, but different side. Hand up, back of the head. Again, being careful. If you're going to come to the back of the head, don't push down. If you feel like every time you do this, you push the chin to the chest, take the hand and put it on the outside of the head, like you're a head. And first thing we're going to do is leg up, out. Just practice that for a little bit. Stationary leg forward, knee forward, toe pointing forward, little bend in the knee. Hips don't move. Up, out. When you're ready, bring that elbow down on the side and back to center. Out. Right lean. Okay, so we're bending on sideways. You don't want to rotate on this one. Up and out with the knee. coming down on the side, not bending and turning to get that elbow towards the knee. Just a rotation and back down, up and out and down. Squeeze and bring it back to center. Out and back one more time. Up, squeeze those obliques and bring it back down again. Front raise, leg closest to the chair, bring it up and back down. Start with this. Just start kicking that foot out, keeping the shoulder blades back, making sure you get the form on kicking that leg up. That's the first piece. Get the toes off the floor on that stance leg, stationary leg, up and back down. And when you're ready, come up, sit up, and back. So I didn't roll my back shoulders. I felt absolutely nothing but a stretch in the shoulder blade. Did not feel the obliques working at all. You want to feel it on the side of the torso. If you don't, really look at, are you rolling that shoulder back? You stay straight. Stretching the shoulder blade still, but also rotating through that middle of the back, T-spine, down and up. And rotate. You don't bend. 3 and back. 2 and down. Last one. Bring it up, reach cross and down again. Knee up, side legs. Start with that first. Always start with that for sure. Go right into the next exercise. Because whatever you've lost in posture on the last exercise, you will bring into the next exercise and make it even worse. So always set. Up. Knee up. Down. Sorry. Inside knee. Again, the inside. And back down. Up. And back down. Arm up. Knee up. Rotate the shoulders. Back. Got it. Only took me a second time. Good thing there's only 2 hips. Right and left. There's only 1 hip. There's only a right and left. If there were like diagonals, I would be in trouble. Oh, look at it. Get that core tight. I'm going to make it even more intense. Exhale as you come around, rolling those shoulders. Exhale, get all the air out of the lungs by squeezing the core muscles, pushing that diaphragm up tight and back out. And back. A couple more times. Up, reach across and down. Last one, rotate the shoulders, hold it, and back at the end. Stretch out. Going to the back of the chair, one of my favorite stretches. I do this on every counter I come to, it seems like. Stepping back, both feet are back. Shoulder blades are back, chest is out. Knees are bent, don't lock them out. I just did that for demo purposes only, locking my knees out. Right. And just drop down. Keep those shoulder blades back, keep the chest out. Stretch. It's through the calf muscles and the hamstrings and the back. When you come up, bend the knees, push up through the hands at the same time, driving, bring all the foot to the heels, stepping up to the chair. This one, it is so easy. Go back into that tabletop or as deep as you can get. It is so easy on this one to use that lower back to pick the head out and come up that way. That goes right to the lower spine. You want to bend the knees to get your butt over the heels and then step up and up. Anytime you pick something up, you should be keeping that motion. When you go into a hip hinge, you pick something up. It's bend and push. Get your butt over your heels. All right. Back to that tabletop. You don't have to go down as deep. We're just going to lift the leg behind, a little bend in the knee, and bring it back down. What we're trying to do is stretch out these muscles, the quadriceps, the hip flexors, that's used in a lot of beginnings. Out. Back up. Sorry. Out and back down. Other side, same thing. Keep the shoulder blade back. Keep that low bend and lower part of the back. So you don't hurt the back. Up and back down. Keep the core tight while you're doing this. As you lift the leg, exhale. Every exercise of the core exercise, you contract those muscles through the core every time you do something. Every time you do that, you strengthen the core, also protecting the back. Up. Down one more time. Back down. Up. Side of the chair we go. Grab on to the foot if you can't get to there. Grab onto a pant leg. Again, wrap a belt around it. Bring a towel. Wrap your towel around it, around the ankle. Bring it up. There's a little bit of stretch on those quadriceps. Push that leg back as far as you can. You can feel it to the hip flexion as well. Don't do this. Don't let the knee go out to the side. There is no stretch in that whatsoever. Bring it down. Alignment on all things. Stationary leg has a bend in it. It's like balance. Balance in all things. Alignment always. And back down. You're never going to do an exercise where I say, okay, totally get your body all skewed. You're always going to be in alignment. Bring the shoulder blades back, chest up, and that foot up. You can stretch with the hip flexors first. You can do quadriceps. You did a whole lot with those muscles. A whole lot. Bring it down. Get it on back down in the chair. Grab a drink of water. You're going to finish up with cool down. We are too much of the edge of the chair. Deep breath in. Exhale. Shoulders underneath the ears. Find a neutral position. Relax. Just relax. Hands on the side. Shoulders on the side. Cross your hands down to the side. Slower dead. Put them there. You do it right. You're in a neutral position. We'll see what we're going to do. Just basic hip hinge. Hinging at the hip. Hence hip hinge as the name. Bringing it down. It stays up. Feel the stretch coming through hamstrings, up the glutes, lower back. Deep breath in, get to that point where you don't go any deeper. Exhale and let the shoulders drop just a little bit more because they will. Deep breath in, stomach out, and exhale. And push up through the hands. Shoulder blades are back. Drive through the hands, keeping that back in neutral position all the way up. Again, how you should be getting up. If you're in a chair that doesn't have arms in it, you're pushing through the legs. You're not just struggling to get up by twisting. It is driving through the legs, butt comes underneath, and you push right straight up. Couches. Couches are terrible because your butt goes below your knees, and they're really hard to get out of. You really need to use the thighs for that, pushing on them if you don't have arms on a chair. All right, what are we doing next? Oh, yeah, back to the hip hinge. Hand on the inside. So we're going to take that left arm, put it on the inside of the left thigh. Take the right hand and just bring the arm up. You're not going deep into this. You're just stretching out the chest, the shoulder, upper back. Get that arm up as high as you can. Getting deep breaths as you exhale. They're going to get a little more stretch out of it. Wow, my shoulder just really opened up a lot in a good way. And bring it down. We're going to do the same on the other side. Keep a little bend in the elbow. Remember, don't lock out any joint. And arm up on the side. Shoulder blades are back. Rotate just the arm. Pull it back as far as you can. I've got a pin in my shoulder, so this one does not go as far as the other one does. I don't expect it to. And bring it back down. I need to take it to its end of range of motion. When I first had the surgery on my shoulder, I didn't move that arm a lot. I was really careful with it, and I lost my range of motion. It took a while to get it back. All right, same thing, but this time we're going to rotate the spine as we bring the arm up, looking off to the side, making sure the sits bones are flat on the floor, feet are flat on the floor, knees are straight. And back down. Everything we did in all those other exercises, we do right here again. Up and around. Feel the stretch through the hips, shoulders, chest, and Back down, inner thighs too. And bring it back down. Seated. Let's get the arms. Up. Fingers intertwined. Palms toward the ceiling. Deep breath in. Side bend. Stretching out the ribs. This is just range of motion stretches here. You can do these like 3, 4, 5 times a day if you want. At least every day. At least once every day. And over on the other side. Arthritis Foundation says you should be moving every 30 minutes. You should spend 1 to 2 minutes moving. Never sit in a chair and not move for more than 30 minutes. Bring the arms down, grab onto the back of the chair. Chest is out. Shoulder blades are back. Feet out. Legs about a little wider than shoulder width apart. Bring the hands forward, roll the shoulders forward. Stretch out the upper back. Deep breath in. Don't let the chin come all the way down to the chest. Don't collapse the throat so you can't get any air in. Deep breath in as you roll back again. Push out the stomach. Exhale one more time, bringing the hands onto the thighs. Exhaling as you do, tightening up those core muscles, pushing the diaphragm up. Getting all the air out of the lungs. Relax. And release. All right, we're going to go down deep, grabbing underneath the thighs. Feet are together, legs are together. Come down as deep as you can. Roll the shoulders down towards the torso, or shoulders down towards the thighs. Let the torso just sit right on top. Let the stretch happen in the upper back. Keep the chin up. Don't let it go below the heart. And now, arms out to the side. Shoulder blades roll back. And then come up overhead. So the spine never loses neutral position. The first thing you do is bring the shoulder blades back. So you get yourself into that neutral position as soon as possible while the torso is still on top of the legs. So you're laying on your legs, stomach is right there. First thing you do, bring the arms up, roll the shoulder blades back. Now you've put the back into neutral position. Now you can start pushing through the feet to come up. Arms up overhead, deep breath in. Stomach out. Let's practice that one more time just because it's a really good exercise. It's a really good stretch, and we need to get as much air, fresh air into our lungs as we can. One more time, down. Because this was way more cardio than I expected. And arms up, shoulder blades back. Back in neutral position. Bring the hands up over the head. Deep breath in, exhale, bringing the arms down. We are done. Have yourself a happy new year. We will be back on Wednesday of next week. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.